What's going on, guys? King Shrats here, back in another video on the channel, and today we have got the cheat meal chain back on. You know what time it is. That means it is time for the Christmas eating challenge. Some of my favorite different kinds of Christmas food. You can see that I'm wearing a Santa hat and I'm not happy about it. So if halfway through the video I decide to change my hat, you know what happened. I don't know, like Christmas cheer, but I'm gonna try to have Christmas cheer for once this year because it's been a crazy year. So I figured I would try to add to the good and not be a Grinch like I normally am. So if you're digging the content, hit a thumbs up, like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Let me get into exactly what we have here. Let's start with the proteins. We've got a deep fried turkey. Yes, the turkey was deep fried. We've got dark meat, light meat, and of course a giant turkey leg. We've got filet mignon. I have actually a pound of filet mignon. We've got a half a pound of shrimp. We've got a baked potato with butter, sour cream, and chives. It's actually, I can't believe it's not butter, Greek yogurt, and chives. We've got a nice king-size helping of mac and cheese. If you don't know, mac and cheese is my favorite holiday food. We've got stuffing, some collard greens. They did them with turkey bacon this time. Usually they use sausage, but I don't know. My family was feeling kind of festive, I guess. They wanted to use turkey bacon. We've got a nice thing of baked ziti. That is coming from my extended family. Of course, you know, I have a lot of multicultural friends and family. Nice big size of cornbread. We have got homemade pierogies. Yes, these are actually homemade. The town that I live in actually has a heavy Italian and Polish population. I was fortunate enough to have some wonderful people who made these pierogies from scratch. I'm so excited to try them. The smell-o-vision on those is super, super real. Nice order of dinner rolls. And then we've got some desserts that we can kind of get into. This is a half-pound Reese's. I actually have more of these, but this isn't my dessert meal, so I'm only gonna eat a little bit of dessert because I don't wanna make a video that's 17 hours long. And of course, I've got some homemade cookies over here. These are hot cocoa cookies, as well as some Oreos peppermint bark. That is everything. As you know, the eating challenges that we do on this channel are all in real time, which means you get to hear every burp, chew, and weird thing that I happen to say while I'm going through some sort of food coma. I always start with the proteins. Let's start with the proteins. Big old turkey leg. Deep fried. You know the vibes. Santa hat. It's Christmas. I wish you all a Merry Christmas, and it's time for me to have my Christmas dinner with you guys, so let's go. Have you ever had deep fried turkey? It's so much better. Also, there's gravy. For some reason, this deep fried turkey comes from my family, actually. My immediate family. My mom actually came to the door and delivered it, which is really, really cool. You know, my mom's been sick, but she's feeling much better. She didn't have the oxygen tank on for the first time, which is a blessing. She gave me the smallest thing of gravy I've ever seen in my life, though. Like, you gotta give me a bucket, Mom. Mom, I know you don't watch these, but my dad does. So, Dad, do me a favor. Tell Mom next time I stop over there, and I need Christmas food, and beggars can't be choosers. Man, this skin is crazy. Dude, gotta pump up the volume on the gravy. I need a lot of gravy. Luckily, this leg is super moist, so I'm not complaining. You can see I'm not like choking it down. But I do have a breast over there, which I use the gravy on. If you guys don't know, and I've said this a bunch, but there's always new people to the channel, and it's always very, very happy to have you. I definitely prefer thighs over breasts. And you can take that however you want to take that. So, if I had my choice, I would never eat chicken or turkey breasts. And like I said, you can take that any way you want to. But I'm just trying to pick the bone, pick it clean, so we can move. Because we do have a pound of steak that we gotta get into. This is really good though. Something about like just deep frying anything that just makes it super lit. What are you saying? Is it good enough? It's all like cartilage, you know what I mean? Like trying to pick the meat off, but the worst thing you ever do when you have like drumsticks is you bite into that cartilage. Not a good feeling. All that funny meat, you know? See, that's cartilage. It's gonna have to be it. Because this is not. Doesn't matter. Okay. Dark meat. Deep fried again. It's turkey. Dark meat is just the best. Mm. You know what I'm missing? Freaking gravy. You know what we could do? Let's get a dinner roll. Let's get it popping. A little cranberry sauce. A little turkey dark meat sandwich. I hope all you guys that celebrated did have a good Christmas though. And I really mean that. For me, it's been amazing. And it's really just like, the biggest thing for me was like getting to see my mom. You know. I don't know, like, I went into detail in one of my older videos just with the thing that's been going around. She was in the ICU. She got out a few weeks ago, but it wasn't looking good at one time. Long story short, she was home but on an oxygen tank. And said like me. Not the biggest fan of breast. She was still on the tank, but today when I stopped over there, she answered the door with no tank. And I was like, flabbergasted. Big word time. And she was like, yeah, the doctor says it's okay for me to not have the tank anymore. I only put it on sporadically. That means every once in a while. I'm not trying to be like a smart guy here, but you know, sometimes I use like stupid big words for no reason. So I only had to put it on like once or twice, you know, since then, which is like so good to hear from me. So that's a bigger present than that I could ever ask for. And I'm just really, really, you know, like I got some cool stuff. Don't get me wrong. I'm actually wearing one of my Christmas presents. You can see it. I don't want to touch it because I got like grease on my face, but it's a Jason Voorhees, and it's a Camp Crystal Lake t-shirt. That's the camp where he, you know, did his thing for the first couple movies. And it says nowhere to hide in the bottom. See if you can get like a look on it. I can't touch it because I got gravy on my hands, but I'm a big horror movie fan. And I almost touched I did touch the hat, whatever. I don't like this hat, man. I never worn a Santa hat in my life, and I said I was going to do it, so here I am, man of my word. And I also got this, which is really cool. This is a Pennywise. Now this is OG Pennywise. From It, but not the It that came out in, you know, the chapter 1 and 2, the recent ones. The TV version, that's Tim Curry, who plays the original Pennywise. And while I do love the new ones, I love the old ones, obviously. I watched it a lot as a kid, so. Yeah, I might have to change this hat, man. I'm getting hot. How do people do this? Hold on, bro. Hold on, give me 1 second. Oh, that is so much better. I know I'm still wearing a beanie and people are probably like, what the heck? The hat's like, wow, this asparagus is bomb. Did I even mention I had asparagus? There's asparagus. It's grilled, really good. But the hat on the inside, like, see this? It's like the material is like that plastic. It was like making my head sweat more than it would if it was just like the regular Santa hat. I thought it'd be cool to be festive, bro. You know, trying to like, you know, bring the vibes. I still got it over here. Merry Christmas, ho ho ho. I don't really have a lot of Christmas spirit. I'll be perfectly honest about that. Oh. Filet mignon. It's done medium. Excuse me. It's funny, people think I don't like vegetables. This asparagus, I wish I had more. God, fire. It wasn't seasoned with anything crazy. You can tell it's a little olive oil, salt and pepper. That's all you need. when you cook something right, like vegetable wise, you know, you gotta season other food. Don't get it twisted. I know some people don't season their food. I don't know how to do that. But like certain things, you don't need to over season. Like even steak. Like when I eat steak, when I season it, a lot of times it's usually like sea salt and pepper, and just making sure you got that nice sear on it. I gotta get into this mac and cheese. I think my sister made this. There's cranberry sauce in there too in it. No. That's the cheese top. Mac and cheese is one of those things I like, you know, I say I'm biracial, you know what I'm saying? And you can tell by like the food that I have, who cooked what. Because my family for damn sure ain't making no asparagus. But, you know, mac and cheese is just one of those things. And then you'd be hard pressed to go to a person of color's house and not see mac and cheese as a side dish. It's just like, it's just what goes down. I know other people do eat it. But just in my family, like, it's pretty much like one side. It's always mac and cheese and the greens. And it's also like a southern thing too as well. I'm not trying to knock, because I know plenty of people that aren't minorities that eat mac and cheese as a side dish. I'm not like saying it that way. I know people like tend to get offended when I say something like that. I'm just basically telling you my own experiences and my family. Get one of these shrimping. Are these? Yeah, they are. They're deveined. I know people get very squeamish about the deveined shrimp. Ooh, that's stuffing though. Where did I put the shrimp tail over here? I never know where to put shrimp tails, man. But one of the things I love, and I'd say this almost every time I have holiday food, is my family and even my friends, like just the diversity. I think y'all, just talking in general, everybody needs to make friends of different cultures and try to break bread with people, man. Just like see what else is out there. Like I love my family's cooking, but it was still always really awesome to get out and try to like I have pierogies on my Christmas dinner plate. You know what I'm saying? And they're not from the store. And the ziti. That was one of the best things about growing up where I grew up, was that not only did it teach me like accepting other cultures and just understanding that even though we're different, we're all the same. But the food. There was a reason I was a chubby kid, man. I'm telling you. I remember there was a kid lived down the street from me. You're not kids, you guys have like sleepovers, right? Play like, you know, PlayStation, Nintendo all night. Or whatever y'all was doing. That's what we basically did. But most cultures, almost every culture that I dealt with, you know, I had a friend who was Filipino, a friend who was Jamaican, Italian friends, Polish friends, and most of them were like first generation from here. Like their parents came from other countries, and it's very commonplace to have like their grandma in the house with them. So most of my friends, their grandma lived either like in the basement or indirectly in the house or right next door. It was always like that. And no matter whose house I went to, and no matter what time it was, if it was a sleepover, the grandma or the mom had to feed you. They had to feed you. And they loved me, because I was ready to eat. You know, sometimes you go to other people's house and you be shy about it. That wasn't me. I sit right down. They sit down and make a whole meal. No joke. I remember one of my friends, he was Italian, his Nonna, his grandma, she started rolling out like rice balls. It was like 11:30 at night. A rice ball is, if you don't know, literally what it sounds like. It's a ball of rice. Inside of the rice, there's usually like meat, sometimes like peas or something like that. And then they bread the whole thing, and they deep fry it. So imagine going to your friend's house to play PlayStation, and they make you like a full course meal, like rice balls and pasta, and that's how it was, you know? And I never had a problem. Bro, this food is ridiculous. I never had a problem eating. I was ready to go. So as you can probably tell, see, and it caught up to me. Well, it was. I was a relatively skinny kid, and then like around like 13, when I started to like, you know, like hit puberty, it caught up to me. I hit my growth spurt, and I went from being like 5'3", maybe like 100 pounds, maybe less than that, 85 pounds, something like that. And then like by the next year I was like 5'6", and maybe like 110, 120 pounds. And by the time I hit the 8th grade, I skipped a grade, so I was younger. I was 12 in the 8th grade. By the time I hit the 8th grade, I was like 5'8", 160. Like I just like blew up. And by the time I hit the 9th grade, I was like 5'10", 190. Like it just kept, you know, I never changed my eating habits. And then by the time I hit the 10th grade, I remember this because I was like embarrassed about it because a lot of my friends, none of my friends were over 200 pounds. I was 5'10" in the 10th grade. I was 14 years old. I was 5'10". I was like 220 pounds. But I wasn't like a solid 220. I was like I was a little soggy. And I used to get like hella self-conscious about it. But, you know, I as I got older, I kind of like grew into it. By the time I was a senior, I was like 6'1", and I was like 205, 210 pounds. So I had lost weight, and I was a little more solid. My playing weight in college was about 230 pounds, somewhere around there. And my senior year, I was up to like 235, 240. Then if you don't know the rest of my story, since I want to talk about my weight, when I graduated, I was still eating like a Division I athlete. But most former athletes will tell you the same thing. A lot of them have problems with their weight when they're done playing. So what usually happens is you get out of school and you're still eating the same way, but you're not training the same way. You're not exerting yourself with the calories, but your appetite never changes. So I went from like 230 to like 275. I still lifted, but I didn't do any running whatsoever. And I definitely enjoyed food. You know, when I was in college, I was probably eating around 5,000 to 6,000 calories a day when we were playing. Excuse me, you know I hate that, but give or take, I would say. I would only eat like twice a day in college, but when I would get out of practice, it would be like a table this big of food, and I'm not exaggerating. But I never ate breakfast, I never ate lunch, but everything I ate was like crap. You know, I drank soda. Excuse me, I hate burping, but I drink soda. I'm drinking soda now, it's making me burp. Sorry, oh, I hate that. And yes, I will apologize every single time. I talk with my mouth full as it is, and, you know, that's par for the course. I've had to get used to that kind of stuff, but like burping on camera is, I don't know, for me, that's not something that I would normally do, but we're gonna unedit stuff. You know, I don't mind doing the unedited stuff. People want to hear what I have to say. I know some of you, there's some people that do comment things like, you know, shut up, just eat, which I get. I am mad at you. And I do understand that, traditionally speaking, people who do mukbangs and people who do eating challenges usually don't talk. They predominantly just eat and just enjoy their food, which I get. Like, I've probably said this a bunch of times, never like to this level, because I'm, it's starting to, the channel is doing okay, and I get, and until there's more people seeing it, and when you see mukbang in the title, you expect someone to just, and a lot of people will tell other ones to stop talking, which I get, but I'm gonna be honest, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't be doing this if I had to sit here silently and eat, because even though this content thing has become a little bit of a job, I still have to like doing it. I don't care if I were to get 1 million subscribers. If I hated what I did, I would never like be happy, because the numbers are cool, and then money, obviously, like when you're at that level, like that becomes your primary job. I get it, but I could never be happy doing something I didn't like to do. And anybody who's coming from Instagram knows that I stopped doing a lot of things because I got bored. I didn't want to do it. If I don't like doing something, I have to stop doing it, because I have to stay true to myself. And what keeps me doing this is that I enjoy talking. I enjoy having conversations, because what it does with you guys, it invokes you to comment. And when you comment, most of you know, I read it and I try to reply to everybody I can. And that's just the kind of person I am. Like, I enjoy having conversations with you guys. There's like an onion thing. And also, I'd never shut up anyway. I wouldn't enjoy it. And like I was saying, I do understand that a lot of mukbangers don't talk much. But that's them, And even if that's the way it's supposed to be done, I can respect that, but I would rather make my own lane, being myself, than just do something because everyone else is doing it, The traditional mukbangs, the Korean versions, is actually what I started out doing, which is interacting with a live audience while eating. So since I come from that, I can't do it without talking. I'd be too bored. I talk to myself all day, Like, I'm not that kind of person. Like, I talk. If I'm eating food with somebody, I talk. If I'm eating by myself, I talk to my dogs, I do talk to myself. I know people say that makes you crazy. Well, I'm glad I'm freaking crazy. Let me know in the comments if you got this far. Do you talk to yourself? Because I do. Not full-on conversations, but I do talk to myself a lot. Sometimes they are full-on conversations. I'm terrible. Look, I'll out myself, man. Look, if you can't laugh at yourself or call yourself weird, excuse me, I'm so sorry. But I like to laugh at myself. These pierogies are about to be so fire. And heavy. If you've never had like a real pierogi, bro, like, no shade to the frozen variety, but they're not doing this. You feel me? I swear, I love pierogies so much that I feel like I should, like, marry a Polish girl or something. Or at least somebody knows how to make them. I don't think I can, like, honestly, like, I don't think I can marry somebody that didn't like food as much as I did, because we would have problems, Like, I need to be with somebody who's like, what we eat in the Sunday. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't gotta be on camera, but you at least could get you some nuggets or something and chill with your boy. I don't know, man. I know that there's like a popular tagline, like a lot of like people looking for a significant other, where they're saying like, you know, must love dogs and stuff like that. Eat this baked potato. Mine might say must love food, and not just like food. You gotta love it. 'Cause I don't like food. I love food. Ooh, that went out my nose. I'm sorry. I keep apologizing. I'm so sorry, though. There's a kid I went to high school with. He used to apologize for that all the time, and it was so annoying. So I'm sorry if I'm just apologizing for apologizing. There's a thing about sorry. The only time sorry annoys me is if I think you're being insincere. Like, if you apologize to me for doing the same thing over and over again, you know, like mistake-wise, where you're like, you know, like, that might get annoying. And that's why I'm saying it. Like, I know what that feels like. Like, you can't keep apologizing for the same thing over again. Here I am burping and apologizing for it. But it's sincere. Like, I'm really actually sorry. Because I don't want to offend anybody by just burping all over the camera. Says the guy who talks with his mouth full. All the time. I don't talk with my mouth full in real life, though. It's only an on-camera thing. Look at the potato in here. Well, you have no idea. Like, the butter-onion combination and the dough, next level. This is why I was a fat kid. When I have like someone's Polish grandma making me pierogies at like, you know, 11 o'clock at night, and we're eating pierogies while playing GoldenEye all night. Yeah, you finna get fat. I miss those days though, man. See, GoldenEye, to all you Gen Zers, you might not know, because you were born after Nintendo 64 was even relevant, was like, I'm sure you know what it is, but it was like the OG, like, because Halo really, like, made it pop off, like, on the online level, but back then there was no online gaming. You had to be in the same room. So, before Call of Duty, before all that stuff, as far as console gaming goes, there was GoldenEye, which is still one of the best games ever. The James Bond, right? And you had like the multiplayer, the shooter. And we used to play that game for hours. Like, hours. It caused many an argument and many a fight. That's what friends did. Do friends still fight like that? I forget we do, because I still fight. I don't really... You know, the crazy part is, like, me and my closest friends right now, we've known each other for like 20 plus years, and we've never really had like a true disagreement like that, like a screaming, like, not most friends do that, but I don't know, me and my friends are weird. We've had disagreements. I just drank way too much soda. That was way too much burping. But, you know, we tend to just hash it out, like, just talk, you know. People can disagree, but I don't know, weird. Whew. But yeah, try and get some more of that loving on there. I'm literally, this is like eating like 20 potatoes. And dough. And when I was putting this plate together, first thing I said, I'm like, yo, this is gonna do me in. With the cornbread and pierogies. Because They're just big dough and potatoes, but they're so good. And I used to eat like 10 or 15 pierogies at my friends' houses, and drink like a 2-liter of regular soda, and maybe have some Oreos or something. See this right here? When the elbow goes on like this, you can watch any of my eating challenges. Check the videos. And watch when I put the elbow up. That means that I'm starting to like get the food. I don't know what you call it, like the meat sweats? That kind of thing. You're not full, it's just starting to hit you. So when this goes up, because I'm balancing my fat. I wish I had more gravy, but a lot of people don't like cranberry sauce either. I love cranberry sauce. Ooh. Oh, they put real corn in this. Alright. I wonder who made this. This comes from my mom. This is definitely my sister. My sister will only do something like this. That's good though. Peep it. Can you see that? There's like actual pieces of the corn in here. And anybody who says that's nasty, what the hell do you think is made in cornbread? People will be like, ugh, how do you eat that like that? What? One that always got me. This one always got me. I've made a few on the channel. But back before I was like making YouTube content, you know, I only ate out maybe like once or twice a week. And now it's like 3. Sometimes 4 times a week that I eat out, because you know it's content driven. Something new comes out, I review it. Like yesterday was Papa John's. I wasn't gonna eat Papa John's, but here I was. Anyway, one of the big things that I made a lot, I would mix pasta in subs, and people would be like, "Yo, that's so weird. Why would you put pasta in a sandwich, like spaghetti in a sandwich?" But when you go to like mediocre Olive Garden, do they not serve you bread with your pasta? So it's okay to eat the bread on the side of the pasta, but if you put it on the pasta, that's weird. Or like when I put French fries on my sandwich, someone's like, "Why you put French fries on your sandwich?" So you can eat a bite of your burger and bite of the fries. It's okay. But don't do both at the same time. Never understood that. Alright. That's the whole plate. Got that. Let's move this out of the way. Move this out of the way. Bring out the big dogs. I even got a Santa cookie. And this cookie, I forgot who exactly made it. But it's like a woman who makes like personalized cookies out of her house. I love that small business stuff. You know, I'm a small business owner myself, so I always like to support small businesses. You know, like 2 of these cookies is like $40, bro. I wonder what the profit margin is on that. If people don't understand what profit margin is, again, I'm not trying to insult anybody, but a profit margin basically is what the cost of this was to manufacture. Santa, nice job too, like really, really good. But how much did this cookie cost to make? Cost of goods, you know, labor, whatever, versus what you sell it for. So let's say this cookie cost you, which would be really crazy, $20 to make. When it was all said and done, the ingredients, the labor, the hours, everything, you know, they call that your overhead, like what you spent. So per unit, what are you making back when you sell this? Because if this cookie costs $10 to make and you sold 2 for $35, so you've got a profit margin of $15. Because it costs $10 a cookie, I'm saying, which would be insane. I'm just throwing numbers out. So I'll learn about that. What you also have to factor I'm going into business ethics now. What you also have to factor into your profit margin is supply and demand. If you're the only person around doing it, you can charge more. If there's 100 people around you doing it, now there's other factors such as your talent level, your skill set. And what you think you're worth. Because you had to place this like 3 weeks in advance. So if they're saying that it takes them 3 weeks to make it, it doesn't take 3 weeks to make a cookie. But if their workload is that much, that's crazy, you can charge that much. Sometimes people will actually make themselves seem more like that in order to charge you more. And think about it this way, when it comes to supply and demand. If you're walking in a car place to buy like a Lamborghini, they don't need you. They don't haggle. You don't walk in a Lamborghini and they say, okay, well, this Lamborghini is $350,000, and you say, I'll give you 3. They'll just laugh at you. Because there's not that many Lamborghinis, and the demand for them far outweighs the supply, so they overcharge. They also don't care. I was reading a thing about Lamborghini the other day, which I found really interesting. They said the reason that Lamborghini doesn't have commercials, this is 100% true, I never thought about it, it blew my mind. The reason Lamborghini doesn't have commercials is because they don't want to market to the types of people that watch television. That blew my mind. Because most millionaires, if you're buying a Lamborghini, you're either far outliving your means or you're making that much money. Most millionaires are not watching television. Like, you know, I doubt, like, you know, like, that they're sitting around watching TV that much. And they don't need to, because it sells itself. This is a hot cocoa cookie, by the way. Marshmallows, chocolate chips, and a chocolate base. Don't make fun of how I say chocolate. But it blew my mind. They don't have to market. They don't. When's the last time you've seen a Lamborghini commercial on television? What do you usually see? Toyota, cars like that. When you go to a Toyota dealership, you haggle. When you walk into a store to buy Jordans, a Louis Vuitton wallet, you don't haggle. The sticker price is what you pay. Isn't that weird? Think about it. And the funny part about that, hold on, I gotta stop and start the camera again. And the funny part about that is, for some reason, that only applies to things like cars. People don't really haggle with other things. You don't haggle when you go to, like, clothing stores. You know? Like a Bloomingdale's or a Gucci store. Like, no one walks in the Gucci store and, hey, how much is this you know, Gucci bucket hat? Ooh, that's the future. And they say, you know, it's $400. No one's like, $400, I'll give you $280. But with cars, it's like a foregone conclusion. It's a weird thing. And I know people understand, and the reason a lot of people will say that is because they'll say, well, that car's not worth nearly as much as what you're paying for it. Yes, that's true. Neither is that Gucci bucket hat. Like, people don't understand, like, Black Friday, when you think you're getting a deal, they're still making a profit, and they sold it for like 1/8 of what it normally is worth, right? So you go on Black Friday and you buy that television, right? The television was normally like $1,200, but you got it for like $600. You're like, yeah, I got a steal. You really think that TV costs $600? Because it doesn't. It's just like the way things are ingrained in us is that cars are always like a thing you haggle with. You know? People love to haggle with, even like my business, like personal training. This isn't a negotiation. Why are you negotiating with me? The cost is the cost. The crazy thing about that is people don't want to pay money for things like that, like personal training, for example. I know that because like I've done it for a living for a very long time, and I still have training studios. And one of the first things that come out of most people's mouths when they inquire about training is how much. And I find that crazy. Now hear me out. I'm not talking about being cheap. Nobody wants to pay a lot of money for anything. Unless it's a PlayStation 5. You'll shell out $600 like it's nothing. Whatever. But when you're inquiring about a service, any kind of service, I don't care if you're inquiring about a plumber, but when it comes to things like tattoos, personal training, the first question should never be about how much it costs. You're trusting somebody with your body when you're getting a tattoo, right? When you're getting personal training, you're trusting somebody with your body. You only get one of these. If you go in a tattoo artist and you say how much and the tattoo artist says $10, do you really want a $10 tattoo? Do you know what a $10 tattoo looks like? Because I've seen them. It ain't pretty. So when I go in a tattoo art, I'm a person, I have a lot of tattoos, right? The first thing I look at is their work. Let me see your work. What's your background? I don't walk in like a jerk like I'm saying right now, but I come in with an idea, with a concept, and I ask what it is that they specialize in, because most tattoo artists have certain things. There's a Denzel laugh right there. Look at this thing, man. This is heaven in a cup. Look at the size of the, like, I would take a nap on this. But like I was saying, most tattoo artists specialize in a certain kind of thing in their craft. Hold on, I'm sorry. You can't even break this thing, it's so thick. Oh my god! I'm gonna mess it up. No, we're fine. We're just gonna have to do it this way. Look at the thickie though. Me squeezy. Look at that. What are we saying? Oh. Anyway. Tattoo artists specialize in portraits, words, black and white, color. They all have different things. Some tattoo artists only will work with those certain types of things. So, I want to know that. Then I would like to see, because all artists have a book, a portfolio. I want to see their portfolio. I want to see some of the stuff they've done. Wow, they've done some really good work. References. You know, like most people will point you, hey, where'd you get a tattoo? Oh, I went to this guy. That's how it works. The last thing that I ask about is price. I want to know everything else because it's a service. The person is providing you a service. So, I'm not going to say how much is this. I would like to know if something that's going on in my body forever is going to be good. Personal training should be the same approach. When someone asks me how much something costs, my first thing is that I reply is like, wouldn't you like to know what I'm going to do with you? Because what if I said it was free? You would just say yes? You would just trust me to like work you out? No matter what? You know what I mean? Think about it. So, if somebody walked in and like, how much you train? I was like, yeah, $1. You were just like, okay, let's go. That's really like your concern? You don't want to know what kind of program I want to set up for you? I don't even know what you want to do. Do you want to lose weight? You want to gain weight? You want to gain muscle? Do you want what? Do you have any injuries that maybe I should know about? Like maybe that someone should have a background in physical therapy? I do. That, you know, like I have clients that are missing meniscus, like the cartilage in both of their knees. Like you would just trust anybody to do that? To work you out? Like what if they screw your knee up even more? I have a client who literally, and I'm not saying like, he has like cancer and lung issues. You better know what you're doing. Like, that's your body. So for me, what kind of clients do you usually work with? What kind of programs do you set up? Like, what are your credentials? Do you know CPR? Like, these are your important questions. So when people ask me how much, in my head, like, I try not to assume anything, but the immediate reaction is like, are you really that serious about it? Because if I'm going to buy something, and yeah, personal training can be expensive. I understand that. I sometimes have to stop people and be like, listen, let's talk about all this. Let's talk about all this. Let's talk about what you want to do. Let's talk about a program. Let's lay it out. Here's what we want to do. Here's how I plan to get you there. Does that sound good? Okay. Now let's talk about how much it costs. Because the same thing, like if you're walking in a place, people do that with cars though. They're like, yo, how much a month is this car? And a couple hundred. Okay, I'll get it. Like, is it automatic? Does it have, like, you still have an idea of what you want in your head when you go get a car, right? I don't know why. And I didn't bring them. This tastes like it has honey in it. Crazy. So thick though. I'm not trying to act like I know everything, because I don't. Even when it comes to my profession, you know, in the PT industry, when it comes to business stuff, I had to learn a lot over the years. I'm still learning. There's a lot of things. And even when it comes to actually training people, I'm constantly looking things up, reading things. I would hope anybody is. Because, and any person who works in a client-based business knows this, there's a certain level of trust that you have to get and give between the two of you. It's a relationship. So, you have to trust me. And I don't want to mess that up. So imagine if you ask me a question, and I lie to you, and say, oh, it's this, and this. And then you go home, and you look it up, and it ain't this. You're gonna come back. So, you definitely have to humble yourself. Act like you don't know anything, because you don't. By the way, the biggest mistake that I made in eating this. I had milk yesterday and 2 days ago, because I bought 2 cases of it. But if you watch my mukbangs from the last whole week, I drank both of them and forgot. So it's a big reason I'm actually going to hold off on this cheesecake till I get milk. Because I know that's going to, you know, I want to do it right. Because I have another pie too. So there's going to be like a dessert one tomorrow. It's going to be a little smaller of a meal if there's any meal whatsoever. But mainly dessert. Because that's how I usually set up my holidays. I want to do a little bit of dessert today, so I do like a plate. I was going to do this, but I'm actually going to hold off until I get some milk. Because this Reese's is destroying the roof of my mouth right now. So I'm going to go get some milk. I definitely taste the honey in this though. I'm going to have to look at the thing. There's honey in here. They used to make Reese's with honey. This man was like, with no milk, this is torture. You can tell I got quiet. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna hold off on this. I'm actually gonna eat this with my dessert too. There's peppermint bark. I don't want to ruin it, but I know that's good. It's Oreo. I'm gonna finish with the Reese's. I got a lot of food, and I'm gonna do a whole dessert one tomorrow that I'll upload. You feel? Also, this video is probably running long right now. I don't want to do any hour-long videos, but finish this. Oh, really good though. But this Reese's really, it messed me up because I had milk. Like peanut butter and chocolate with soda, it's a bad look. Oof. But anyway, love you guys. I hope you guys had a wonderful holiday. Friends, family, loved ones. I know this year has been like not good for a lot of people. But I can completely understand that. We all went through some stuff, some worse than others. It's not here to complain or compare problems, because that's not the vibe that we have here. I do want to say that I hope everybody is okay. I hope you guys are all doing well. I hope you had a great Christmas. I hope you had a great holiday. 2020 is almost over. I know a lot of people believe in like the new year changing and, you know, that kind of being like a signal for things. My advice to you is, if you want to change something, just like start right now, like right this second. But either way, we made it. Only a few days left, and I love you guys. Like I said, I'm getting a sugar rush and the meat sweats at the same time. That feels so much better. I'm really sorry. I hate burping on camera. You have no idea. Anyway, we'll be back tomorrow. Lots of dessert. I've got a cheesecake and a pie and a peppermint bark, and we're gonna make up some wonderful stuff too. But you can see my stomach's up here. My shirt just gradually gets like this as I keep eating, because my stomach is nice and round, which is really attractive. Anyway, I said this 3 times already, but still I'm gonna say it again because it's the truth. I love you guys. We'll be back. Say it with me. Tomorrow, more content. The hand signs have made it to YouTube.